Well, a trip to the beach is always a good enough excuse for a HLG battle, wouldn't you say? Today we're putting the old trusty a7iii up against the S1H. Are you ready?
Let's get ready to rumble!
Round one, fight!
Okay, so this is the Sony a7iii on my hybrid log Gamma 3. So the minimum ISO is 125. Now I've taken all filters off. This is just purely to keep both of the cameras the same when I'm testing them, as same as possible. I'm going to use a 24-105 on both cameras, both the S1H and this one. So Tiffin is off and any other kind of filter is off because I actually didn't want to bother screwing off filters and putting it on for this test, not at the beach anyway. And Lila, look this way. That's it. So I've got another tip here. I'm going to do all my tests with a white balance of shade. And my little tip is when you're at the beach in the afternoon and the sun is setting and or anywhere really outdoors, get that really nice golden look, just in case, you know, the cameras tend towards greens and magentas. My tip is to put it on shade if you're in this afternoon sun, even if the sun is coming through the clouds there. Okay, look this way again. We'll do skin test. And obviously keeping it on shade, even though it's going to warm up the shot a bit, we'll keep the skin, well, everything in the shot the same color temperature between our tests. And now 105. And Lila, look this way. And I need to brighten that up a little bit. So now it's ISO it's ISO 200. And look happy. Oh, by the way, that last test was on the smaller file size, the 60 megabits per second. And this is 100, so this is the best it can be, 4K, 60 megabits per second, topping it out. And look this way. I wonder if there's any difference. If you get it right, there shouldn't be much difference between 100 and 60. So this is 100. And we'll zoom in as well. And what else do we do? We went to 200. Give me a smile. Okay, smash the background away. Okay, 105 at f4. Alright, we're going the full 5.9K here, 420 10-bit long up, 25p. We're on the, should be still on the shady color balance. And it's doing a good job. I can see the waveforms here are hitting at about 95, if I'm reading that correctly, which is good. Which actually means I should have changed my zebras, but I think it's going to be fine. Alright, now this should be a good comparison for the Sony. This is HLG, direct comparison now. Let's zoom in and we'll refocus. And do I have to adjust my exposure? Yeah, I think I do actually. There you go. Okay, look a bit more excited than that. That's it. These camera tests are so exciting. Even though the meters are telling me that's fine, I'm just have an instinct to go up to about there. And we'll see if that makes any difference on the computer. I'm testing this along with you guys, remember? And the bokeh is quite nice. It's blowing the background away.
Outstanding.
All right, we're gonna try something crazy here. We're gonna go HLG. That's not the crazy bit. But we're gonna go 5.9. handheld warp, but the max frame rate you can be is at 25p. So that's the crazy bit. We're going to use the viewfinder. Oh, let's brighten it up a little bit since it's HLG. Doesn't have as much dynamic range. Let's try to expose it exactly how we want. Okay, there we are. So the sky's blown out a little bit. We're going to use the viewfinder. Put my eye on the viewfinder to help me stabilize my handheld shot. All right, let's go for a walk. It's going to be really bumpy, isn't it? I can't slow this down because it's 25p and autofocus is on because I just wanted something less to worry about. Walk backwards. No, like face me and walk backwards. Keep going. You can do it. No, walk backwards. Yeah, that's it. And spin around occasionally. Yeah, and then look this way. Yeah. You get the hang of it, and then face forward. Hey, that's it. It's like you're taking us on a journey. Check on us every now and then. Be a good host and walk backwards now. That's it. Yeah, and then forwards. All right, so this is 5.9K. I used to think that was a lot of Ks, but now, that's all right, I'm sick of walking. You can take a photo of the beach, how's that? Now, 5.9K isn't all that much, is it? 6K. 8K is the new 6K. And if you're a Black Magic fan, then 12K is the new 6K. Or 12K is the new 8K. This is all invented for social distance reasoning, so you actually don't have to get as close anymore. Unless it's family. All right, now, we're gonna switch to something with 50p. The highest we can in 50p. All right, I think this is the highest we can go in 50p. It's 4K, 420 10-bit. All right, now try the walk with the eye on the viewfinder again. And I probably can't talk if I want to slow this down, so let's just run it. Speed it back up so I can talk. 50p means I have to crop into Super 35. So this 24mm lens is more like 36mm now. Now I'll just handhold it, I won't use my eye. Should be too... I would normally gimbal, but you can't really gimbal with this all that successfully. It's better on the Sony with its autofocus. Unless of course you've got the follow focus system. All right, that's enough. All right, now we're actually going to do it properly. Let's stop down a little bit more. So this is why I recommend the shady, so it stays consistent. It's easier to grade as well. Now I'll walk backwards. Ready? Okay, have a bit of fun and walk towards me. Look around. Are we going to run if there's waves? Always check the other way is another tip. Just to see, you might be confident, and I think we did have the best angle. Wait! I'm at the beach with sneakers on. Let's do another shot where we're comparing Sony and this SH1. Being like David Osler. S1H.
Round 2. Fight!
Alright, now this is a more real world test for me, rather than the side-by-side tests you see people do.
Ah crap, that last shot was H.264, so Adobe won't do the automatic color transformation to Rec. 709. But that's okay, we can do our own, and we'll compare it to a previous shot. And we'll do the white balance first, maybe compare it to the sand, color pick the face, and we'll do a hue adjustment and saturation adjustment on the face. And these two shots are a little bit different in lighting, so if you compare them, that one's a bit brighter, so we're just going to have to fake that. We'll just temporarily adjust the exposure. And also to help us see on the scopes, we'll do a little bit of a mask on the face. Yeah, you can see they're quite differently lit, so we'll just bump up the exposure on ours temporarily, and that'll let us see. We'll do the color first. They match much better. It is hard to see until we bump up the exposure. That'll need to be more saturated, yep. Contrast exposure, not bad, close enough. All right, delete that, and then bring our exposure back to how we wanted that shot. Adjust the mids, and I think that's close enough.
Since there's heaps of that already, I'm going to do what I think is more important to me, and that's an actual real world test. And so I'm going to expose it the way I would if I was on the Sony a7 III. If I'm on HLG, what I do is I expose as bright as possible, and just until there's some clipping, and then use some judgment as to whether to bring in the mids or not. So I'll walk around Lila and try to discover the best lighting. That should be the trickiest there. And I've got a saying, I always say, let's see what the camera says, even if you think you've figured out the best lighting scenario. So here I might brighten it a little bit. So you can see why it's going to be hard to replicate exactly what I do when I'm jumping back on the A7 III. So once again I'm on shade, and that's just going to keep everything nice and warm and consistent. It may not be colour accurate, but I'm going for looks here. And there should be a lot of latitude in the edit suite anyway, if we want to punch the colours back down a bit towards a more cooler temperature. So what's the best angle? How about a little bit of backlight and a little bit of beach? We face east here in Sydney, so if you want some sun in your shot, you've got to wake up early, which doesn't work for me. I'm a vampire. I'm always going to bed late. So one thing we do when we're doing weddings is we always find beaches that give us a bit of both. One that faces in, like Vaucluse. Or, and just embrace the sun. Let's do that. Face this way. Yeah, and you're fighting some shadows. So I'm just playing with the shutter speed to keep my exposure in check. And keep it at ISO 400, that's the lowest, that's the base. And am I blinding you? And I nearly finished the S1H side of testing. Let's zoom in. That was 24 mils. I'm trying to remember everything. And this is autofocus, so it's one less thing to worry about. It's not bad though, this auto, is it? And for the last test, let's just press this focus button and speed up the autofocus, hey? Give it a shot in the arm. So that's 24 mils. It looks a bit underexposed on the metering, but in the viewfinder looks all right. Let's trust the metering. Let's go somewhere in between, about there. 24 mils, f4, and let's zoom in. We can do that now without mucking around with focus because it's auto. It's so auto. And I can see it drop down in exposure a little bit, so I'll compensate. And look this way, that's it. Play with your hair. Do a model thing. Oh yeah, that's it, look this way. Yeah, nice. Yes, almost forgot. One more test. The Super 35 setting on the S1H. So, found a way to make it a fast shortcut button on the back. Look this way one more time, that's it. So this is 24 mils on Super 35, so it's more like 36 f6 then, I guess. And we're looking for any degradation in the shot, in the image, by doing this. And that's noise in the blacks in the top there, or any loss of quality of resolution, and I don't think so. By the way, there is noise reduction on the HLG. I've put it a little bit, like 4 or 5, and I wasn't aware of any negative impacts of doing that. I think it's going to be good. Like, I want this to work. I want this camera to work. Spent so much money on it. Good timing though, hey? With the A7S III coming out, we'll see. All right, and whoa. And last thing is zooming in at Super 35. And then, do I need to adjust the shutter? Yeah, a little bit. Okay, and one more time, look this way. So this is equivalent of like 150 then. But I've stood back a bit anyway.
Impressive.
All right, we're back on my trusty Sony A7 III. It feels so small now, especially using the viewfinder and holding it. Feels like I'm cradling a little chicken, a little chicken. And the other one was a fat turkey in comparison. I've got to say, this is so much easier. I really trust the auto exposure on these cameras, and I do the compensation dial. Just got used to shooting fast when doing weddings. All right, so I managed to be at f4, shade still. This is the maxed out settings on this camera, 4K, 25p, at 100 megabits per second. Looks like it's exposing quite well. There's a bit of zebras on the top right, as you'd expect. That's the sun. That'll do that. All right, with my very excited model in front of me, she will now look towards camera. And so here's where I'll punch my exposure up, either manually, well, it's always manual, but you know what I mean, the exposure compensation dial. And look at the smile. Oh, look at the excitement of being at the beach. It's amazing. So, I had to push it up a little bit, didn't I? A notch or two in exposure. Now, let's go back to leveling out the auto compensation, and we'll go for a walk around Lila like we did before. No filters, no filters. This could be the urban angle with a little bit of this graffiti and whatnot. Hey, there we are. Say hello to our shadows. Oh well, shadows say hello to camera. Oh, hello. Look how tall I am. Yeah, play NBA. And what else do we do? Around here, face tracking. I'm definitely a Sony shooter, gotta say. I'll be watching that A7 III release. And face this way. Let's bake that face in sun. Watch the meters, that seems all right. I do a lot of weddings, right? And I'm happy always to shoot in direct sunlight, but we get photographers who get really scared. Say, oh, no, I don't care, there's an awesome beach here, or could be anything, could be a volcano. No, I don't like the way the sun's facing right on, you know, it's hitting them in the face. Okay, I'll stop moving. Do I need to zoom in here? Yeah, why not? So this is my Rec 709 colors. I just trust it. Because it's 8-bit, we're not going to have the rich tonality, right? So I make sure, not oversaturate it, but I make sure I'm happy in camera. Because then largely, as long as you're not grading it too much, you won't notice. Well, the end user won't notice. I want to always keep my stuff positive, but I just had one person comment on my last video. Okay, face the beach now. You can relax, take a photo. Just relax. I had one user go, oh, I've never seen someone, this is the first time I've seen someone happy with Sony colors. And you know what, he might have been right 2 years ago. Like Sony colors weren't the best. But if you know what you're doing, like if you know the tricks, then, well, there's two parts to it. It's taken 2 years and Sony's colors have got a lot better. And then the second part to that I was just about to jump ahead and say was, if you know how to use the camera in the right colors and the right lighting situation, then it's fine, more than fine. I think, was it Tone who did the blind tests? People were picking Sony colors. I'm like, come on, that was a year ago or more. Can't say that about Sony colors anymore. You can if you do a lot of S-Log and then you've wrecked your image with your 8-bit last minute post grading, right? Anyway, so I removed this comment. What's it talking about? Should I leave it there? Should I put it back? Yeah, anyway, doesn't matter. All right, Lila, look this way. Once again, I think I've done this already, but we'll back up for safety. There we go. Play with your hair again. Try to remember what we did. Yeah, look at the surfers. Anyone surfing? Anyone crazy? And a bit more to my left, your left. Surfers out there? No, any waves? Want to jump in after this? Just knee deep. And the last test, I've got a little, oh, that's right, the exposure compensator is not on 0, there we go. And this is my Super 35. I've got a little button set up. C3, I think it is, yeah, C3. And once again, I'm using the viewfinder to keep my self steady. I'll stop swaying. Swaying is a habit that I picked up just to make sure always there's some natural movement in each shot. And not walking movement, that's jolting and jarring, but just some natural sway. I think my colleague called it Nolan Batman sway once. I'm like, shit, I didn't even know I was doing that. All right, so Super 35 at 24, so that's your 36. And now let's zoom into 105 on this lens. Oh, a bit of flaring. We won't tell Lila what we're doing. Got the metering on 0. We don't want it to veil. Okay, now look this way. Lila. There we are.
Well done.
Okay, done. Let's make sure it's on. Yeah. All right. Well, that'll do for today. Let us know in the comments down below if we missed anything. I'm sure we missed lots. So if we did, let us know and we'll make another video, hey? All right, we'll get the hell on. I'll see you later. See you on the next one. Hang on a minute. We were about to go home and there are guys swimming without wetsuits in winter. Is that crazy? Or are we lucky here in Sydney that we can do that? Winter swimming. Aren't they freezing? I'd be freezing. Just thought I'd stop and show that. So that's how we are here in Australia. We're hardcore. We swim in winter. No, they're going to get kicked out. Oh, they're outside the flags. Naughty. It's not the budgie smuggler police. Hang on, somehow my f-stop went up to 4.5. How dare I? You're getting kicked out? What's happening now? You're all getting kicked out? What about the wetsuit people? Are they allowed to stay? Surfers are allowed to stay. Yeah, no one's really listening, are they? It's also very Australian. Alright, I'm going to get the hell out of here now. Love the wheels of this thing. Beast. Oh no, they're out. They listened eventually. They don't look cold. Let's do it. Hey Lila, we're going to jump in? You bring your swimmers? You sure? That's enough.